The top 5 things you should be doing with kvCore. It is kvCore happy hour. My friend and I, Sierra, we went to Traverse City this weekend. And Traverse City, this is Michigan, so here's the Michigan map, right? It's a mitten. And here's Detroit. We live in Grand Rapids area. And here's Traverse City, which is fun to go to. And so we went there as a work trip, but it didn't turn out that way. It turned out as a drinking, shopping trip. The top 5 things you should be doing with kvCore, that's what we're going to talk about. Just what should you actually be doing with this thing? Like, what's your playbook? The first thing you should do is make sure you've added everybody that you know, your sphere, your database, past clients. They should be in your kvCore. You should be sending a periodic mass email of some sort, maybe a newsletter. We'll go over this. You should be going through your kvCore and checking on your contacts, make sure your contacts have search alerts set up, etc. You should be blogging, and you should be generating new leads. So those are the 5 things you should be doing in your kvCore. So let's start from the beginning, especially for my newbies. So this is my resources page. There's lots of resources here. And what I want, especially you newbies, to pay attention to is the 10 ways to reach your sphere with kvCore slides and also recording. This is going to help you understand, like, how do I add contacts? Like my sphere of influence, my database, my past clients, all the people I know. How do I add them to kvCore? What do I do with my sphere in kvCore? What are some different things I can do with them? So it's really important, I think, if you haven't really delved into working with your database in kvCore, this is the link you got to go to. Number 1 thing you should be doing in your kvCore is adding your contacts. Use this thing like a CRM. For those of you that have ever followed me, know me, you've heard me say, the first almost 2 years, year and a half that I was using kvCore, I did not use this as my CRM. I used a different CRM, and I used kvCore to generate leads and nurture new leads. It's been more than a year. I have been using it like my own CRM, and I don't use any other CRM. I only use kvCore, and it changed my business for the better. So we're just going to quick review that. So again, this is out of the top 5 things you should be doing with your kvCore: adding your contacts, adding your sphere, adding your past clients. Everybody that's in your phone should be, people that your CPA, your hairdresser, they should all be in here in your kvCore. What you would do to do that, and again, this is going to be a quick review because I just shared it, my resources page, where there's that class, it's slides and recording, that says the 10 ways to reach your sphere in kvCore. And I go into this in more detail and slower. But I'm going to just review adding contacts briefly. So here I am in my Smart CRM in kvCore. So I just clicked on Smart CRM here. And you can add contacts in 2 ways. You can do it manually, where if you have an email and or cell phone number, you would add them here manually, individually. If you only had an address, you could click here and you just have their name and their address. So you could do it manually. But the way that you're probably going to do it, because you have a database somewhere, hopefully, if you don't, that's okay, start here. You are going to go to do a bulk import. So just a quick review, you're going to go to Lead Engine. Here on Lead Engine, this is where you're going to do the bulk import. So I'm going to click on Get Started here. And you can submit a file to kvCore to import your leads. If you have like a real complicated database that maybe you exported from another system and there's all kind of crazy like searches set up, or they're from different lead sources and you want to do something fancy, you could click to schedule a time with them to talk about these leads and how to import them and get help from kvCore to do that. You'll probably have to wait a week or 2, but it's there for you. Or you can do it yourself using their import tool. You can click here to learn more about importing your leads into kvCore. So there's a whole how to do it with a template kvCore import lead template. There's a USA format. There's also a Canada format. That's nice. This is new. They have a tip for Canadian users: add your postal code to the primary zip column. And so there's a couple, there's two templates here, one for US agents, one for Canadian agents. There's a little video and you can click get started and then do it. So that's thing one. Make sure you get everybody added in here. I still have people I gotta add, you guys. I have some old clients from before I even joined EXP that I never even added to this. So kind of maybe do an audit, figure out who's in your phone that's not in your kvCore, who's in your Google email contacts and Gmail that's not in your kvCore, and put them in there. Okay, so that's thing one, and that's really all I wanted to say on that one, because I don't have time to go into it, because I've referred you to these two resources. The first resource I referred you to was the document I just shared in the chat, and the second that I shared is if you go to bulk lead engine and bulk import, there's resources here, especially this little article, to click here to learn more about importing your leads. Sue, if we had old leads from a few years ago that I mean, add anybody, any lead that you got. I don't care if it's old as dirt. Go ahead and put them in there, okay? And then the next thing we're gonna be talking about some things you're gonna be able to do to revive some of these old leads, okay? So that leads me to the second thing you should be doing in your kvCore, and that is sending a periodic mass email of some sort. So let's talk about that briefly. In my resources page here that I shared with you guys, there is this is an older video, but it still works. It talks about how to use the advanced email editor and send a mass email with kvCore. So I did this little video, it's on YouTube, when kvCore first came out with the advanced editor. And they changed a few minor things, but for the most part, it's still the same idea, and you will still learn from this. But I am going to go over some options right now. So I just want to point you, this is another area you can look for later for reference on this resources page, like a link to my YouTube channels there, a link to CRMs for dum-dums on workplaces there, my campaign copy and instructions, training and setup services, other tools, finding the Sylvia System on Facebook where I talk about kvCore. And so this is my one page. You need that. You need it. If you don't have it, you need it. Okay. In your marketing autopilot, I'm going to point you to a few things that you can do that are pretty easy. So we're going to go here to Smart Campaigns under the Marketing Autopilot. And we're going to find some templates that are system templates that kvCore put in there that you can, start using. So we're going to play with a few, okay? Here I am in my Marketing Autopilot, and you'll see it says Campaign Library, and then it says Templates. I'm going to go here to Templates. Okay, so here I am in email templates. Okay, you'll see email and text message, call to action. I'm on email. And let's say that you wanted to send a holiday email, for example. So I'm going to just type in holiday. And there's some Halloween, happy holidays, happy New Year, and Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving's coming up. So let's say, okay, well, I think I might want to send a Thanksgiving email. Okay, so you could, let's see, grateful for you, sending thanks your way. Where will you spend your next Thanksgiving? I don't know. Let's say if it's, let's say these are leads you don't really know. Maybe you have some old leads and they don't know you. I would do, where will you spend your next Thanksgiving? If they're a bunch of past clients sending thanks your way, I don't know, but let's see what one of them look like. I'm going to click on clone here. And that's the subject line. Where will you spend the next Thanksgiving? And I will you are able to change that subject line if you want to. This is the photo that's in there. You could put a different photo in there. And there's a little message here. And it's just nice and a short little nice message. And then a visit my website link. I mean, super simple. So that would be one example of sending an easy mass email. Okay, is sending one of these holiday emails. Okay, so that's one idea. And then we'll go over how to do that in a minute. First of all, we're talking about the content. Okay. Then we'll talk about how to actually do it. Okay, here's one new listing. So let's say you have a new listing, or one of the agents that you work with that's also in your same brokerage. If you're all with EXP, fine, whatever. But somebody else has a new listing, and it's okay that you can promote it, or you have your own listing. You can go to this one, new listing, and click on clone here and see what that looks like. So this one, you will see these little guys are called dynamic content, meaning kvCore already has content that they will just put there for you. So you don't have to do anything with it. It's kind of already done. So what you would do in this case is you would put the MLS ID for that listing, and it would have to be an MLS number that is connected to your kvCore account. And then the headline will be just listed. The listing description that's already in the MLS is going to come up there. Your main listing image, that's the primary one, the first one on the MLS, is going to pop up here. A button that says view listing, and then 3 more images from the 3 other next images that are in the MLS will then show. So that's kind of a trick too. I had learned, for marketing stuff like this, when I upload my photos to the MLS, I always put the top 5 photos, the best looking, the most dynamic, the most varied photos. I put those in the first 5. The first 5 photos in the MLS are always like the nicest one of the front of the house, the nicest one of the living room, the nicest one of the kitchen, the nicest one of a bedroom or a bathroom. And I put those off the first 5 so that when I'm doing marketing like this, it'll just, the right photos will show, and it won't be like 3 other photos of the outside of the house. Okay. So anyway, so everything, it's already here. It's right here. Now, the only thing you might want to double check is, maybe you don't want your office address to show up. Like maybe you have your own business address to show up. So these are things you could change here. So anyway, that's something you could send in a mass email. Also, open house. You could also do, instead of saying just listed, you could call it pending, like if you just got it under contract or whatever. So let's see, open house announcer. Here it is, open house announcer. Again, you put the MLS ID in there, and you edit the date, and you edit the address and time and all that jazz. Everything else can be the same. Now you could also go to content here and add, delete. Maybe you want to put your own header there. You could delete that and change it for your own image and put your own header there. You could add another row to put other content. You want to write something, and you could add more stuff. I mean, so you've got some flexibility here. Okay. So what I want to do here is just introduce you that there are templates already in here. Here's this newsletter one, and it's just sort of a template you can start, to build your own newsletter. So let's say, there's an agent header there. You could just use what they have, or you can delete this out and put your own image. You can add another row here. Oops. Okay. Add a row here, and then add like another image and put your own, then you're just going to drag some beautiful image. You're going to change the headline and the copy here. And then you can change these headlines and links and put your own pictures here. Maybe these could be featured listings here, maybe. Or these could be, Facebook live videos you want to connect people to. And there's a bunch of stuff here. And you can delete these sections if it's too much, but there's a start here. Okay. So that's that. And just to remind you, that resources page I shared with you has a video about how to work with the newsletter template. I'm going to address some of these chats. Yeah, the dynamic content tools, they do make your life easier. Like I have finally learned to, as soon as I get a listing, just send that sucker out to my whole database. You know, new listing, just listed, put the MLS ID there, and then send that baby. Now let's talk about if you were actually going to get ready to send that. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. I am going to go ahead and get one set up myself so I can show you how you would do this. So I'm going to go back to that Thanksgiving email. I wonder if sending things your way has, yeah, I'll just go ahead and see. It's going to be like the same picture, I think, and maybe the same message, but we'll see. Same picture. Okay, I'm not going to send that one because I'm sending it to my whole database. It's too personal. I'm sending this one to my whole entire database, and they might not know who the heck I am. So I'm going to send one that's not as personal. So this "where will you spend next Thanksgiving" is just, it's just nice. All right, so I'm going to use this one. So it's a copy. So I just open this up, and now that I open this up, I'm going to click on clone template. So I just cloned that baby. And now I'm going to find my clone. So there it is. Thanksgiving 3 copy clone. And now I can see I can edit it now. Okay, so I just clicked on edit. I'm not going to worry about a header. I'm going to leave, it's nice to have this picture here. But what I am going to do is I am going to add their name. And so I'm going to go like this. I'm going to say, "Hi, so-and-so," and I'm going to use a merge tag because I want kvCore to fill in what their first name is, because that's more personal. So I'm going to say first name. So now it's going to pull that lead's first name and put it in there. So "Hi, Sharon," or whatever their name is. And then it says, "Imagine sinking your teeth into your Thanksgiving feast next year, but in the home of your dreams, family surrounding you, some place cozy or spacious, your pick. Let's make it happen. Reach out and I'll get your home hunt started." This is actually pretty fitting because nobody's going to be doing family Thanksgivings this year, but we can think about next year. Okay, so I just kind of leaving it like that. But let's see. And that my agent's signature is good. I'll leave visit my website. That's fine. And I'll just leave it like that. Now, one thing about this though, when you send mass email, you should have an unsubscribe link because you don't want to get marked as spam because you didn't offer that when you're sending a mass email. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to show you how I would do that. And that'll give you a quick idea of the flexibility you can have in here. I'm going to drag this row down here. I'm going to drag actually another row because I want some space. And then I'm going to drag this text, this bottom. And I am just going to put a merge tag called unsubscribe URL. And I'm going to make it really small too. Okay, there. Okay. I'm going to name this Thanksgiving 2020. Thanksgiving 2020. And I'm going to leave the subject line. That's fine. And, you know, my agent's signature that's in my agent profile will show up. Everything's fine. Okay, so I'm going to update this. Okay, I'm ready to go. And then now I'm going to get ready to send it, and I'm going to schedule it to get sent. So I'm going to go here in marketing autopilot here on the left-hand side. And I am going to go to scheduled mass emails and then click on schedule an email. And then I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to click schedule email. And I'm going to find my template. So here where it says template, I'm just going to start typing it. Thanksgiving 2020. There it is. Boom. It popped right up. Has the subject line, where will you spend next Thanksgiving? That's what it's going to look like. Fantastic. I'm going to select when I want to send this. So when is Thanksgiving? Like the 26th, you think? Okay, so I'm actually going to schedule this to go out this Thursday at 10 a.m. Now, one thing you guys should know, and I just learned this, is whenever you're scheduling a mass email, this time here, it's always going to show Eastern time. So if you're in California and you choose to schedule, this time is always going to be Eastern time. So here it'll say when to send ET. So think about if you're in California, or, you know, so if you're Pacific time, you know, Mountain time, just some other time zone, be aware that this is going to send out Eastern time. Okay. So if you say, oh, I want this to go to 10 a.m. and you're 3 hours ahead, you know, earlier, you know, just be aware. Okay. I just figured that out. So that's that. And then next, you can choose how you're going to send this. So maybe you've created a saved filter and you're going to send it to everybody in that filter. Maybe you're going to send it to everybody that has a certain hashtag assigned. But I'm going to send it. I'm going to show you how I would send it to absolutely everybody in my database, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click send to contacts with the following status: sphere, prospect, new lead. Now I can only add 3 at a time. So notice that it says maximum 3 options at a time. So I've got these first 3, and that's fine. And I'm going to go ahead and schedule that. But I still want to get the rest of the statuses because I want them to get it too. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing. Schedule email for the 19th, 10 a.m. Send it to the contacts who are active lead, client, contract. And then I don't want to send that one to closed anyway. I'll do something different for my closed. Okay, so then actually, yeah, I don't want a contract either. Yeah, no, I won't do client either. Okay, I know what I got. I'm doing something different now. Okay, I just thought of this. Thanksgiving 2020. So let's say you wanted to add these other statuses too. You can do, again, you can do 3 at a time for each one, but I'm just going to do this active lead. So I did my sphere, my active leads, my prospects, and my new leads. That's who's getting this email. Okay. So, and I'm going to schedule. So then you can see here how many are estimated. So 1,043 estimated contacts will get it here, and estimated 33 will get it that one. So now it's scheduled. And from here, I could delete this or edit before it was sent if I had to. To review, the top 5 things that you should be doing with your kvCore is, once you get your sphere and your database and past clients, everybody entered in there, you should then be sending a periodic mass email newsletter of some sort, whether it's a happy holiday of some sort, whether it's a newsletter, market update of some sort, whether you're advertising a listing. Just it could be a variety of things. I would say no more than 1 mass email per week, but 1 a week is also fine. We're on to the number 3. Okay, ready? So the third thing that you should be doing in kvCore is checking on your contacts, checking on your leads, and make sure that they have everything that you could do with them, like adding a search alert, making sure they're getting a market report or home valuation, making sure they're on some sort of campaign, making sure they're maybe getting a birthday message or a house anniversary message. So how would you do that? Going through this with another EXP agent, and she has been paying for, I think, Property Boost with kvCore, or Making It Rain, I think Property Boost, And she's been getting leads, but she hasn't done diddly with them. And one thing about that property boost is, for whatever reason, kvCore puts it like on, they get like one text and one email, and then you get a task and that's it. So pretty much after that, they're not on any campaign. They're just a lead sitting there. So we went through that and I showed her what to do. And she's like, oh man, I got a lot of work to do. Okay. So let's talk about that. So I'm going to go to my smart CRM and show you like what I would do to fix up, you know, my sphere and make sure everybody's on things. So we'll start. I'm going to start with my sphere. I'm going to filter because I still have a lot of work to do for myself. So I'm going to apply the filter. I'm going to sphere. And let me also do, I'm going to go to lead details and I'm going to start typing a hashtag that has the word car in it, because these are people I used to sell cars to, and I'm going to see if I can find them. All right, so let's see what John here is doing. All right. So John Milkey is and I don't know if that's how I say his name, but he is somebody that bought a car for me a long time ago. And I don't think I've done anything for him. It looks like he's just getting a few like mass emails that I've sent, and he's opening a few. So cool, but that's it. So let me fix him up. So the first thing I would do, there's a couple, I want to fix up these hashtags because I changed this hashtag. He's got this one hashtag meaning calendar 2020, which means I sent him my calendar. It's calendar season, so I sent my calendar. So I'm just gonna put this hashtag. So make sure I got the right hashtag, and this is again for somebody in my sphere. You know, I see that I'm going to click on more details and I'm going to see what I've got here. Look, I've got his address, but I don't have him on evaluation. So that's silly. So I'm going to copy his address. I'm going to put that in his valuation. So now he will start getting a market report and home valuation once a month from me. Okay. So that's one thing I'm going to do. Then the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to see that his zip code is 49464. So what I like to do with my sphere is I like to send them all the new listings in their zip code once a month. So I'm going to add an alert, and I'm going to do single family and condos, and I'm going to type in 49464. 49464. Yeah, there's a zip code. And I'm going to do it. You could do it twice a month. I'll do it twice a month. Sometimes I do once a month, twice a month. It just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Okay. And I'm going to set that alert. So now twice a month, he's just going to get all the listings, all the new listings in his zip code twice a month. So, you know, just a little bit. Okay. All right. So that's one thing. Now, here's the other thing. Do I have his birthday? Look at that. I have his birthday in here. All right. So if I click on birthday here, notice it says send email and text. I have to opt him in for that, meaning kvCore is going to send him a birthday message from me, an email and a text message, but I have to opt him in. So this little envelope means I've now opted him in. So he's just going to get that automatically. And then finally, he's not on a campaign. So I'm going to add him on my Sphere homeowner campaign. And again, if you take this training about 10 ways to reach your sphere with kvCore and watch that recording, you'll learn about this, but how to like set up a good sphere campaign. But I'm going to add him on my sphere campaign. And the way that I do it, I have it in here, but the way that I do it is I actually add it by hashtag, and that's how I trigger it. So Sphere homeowner, update. And now that campaign's just been added. And I can see future touch points The first, he's going to get an email that just says, I want to check in with you and see how things are going. I have a market report I'm going to start sending you, and then he's going to get it, he's going to start getting this. So now I'm like, okay, good. So that's somebody in my sphere that I would do that for. Again, what I'm doing is I'm checking on my contacts to make sure they have search alerts, market reports, a campaign, birthday, or home anniversary. So let's do a couple others that maybe aren't in my sphere. Let me clear filters here. And I'll do buyer. I'll do new lead buyer and apply that filter. Let's do this Yvonne Vale. All right, so I can see that she's on a search alert. I want to check it and make sure she's getting enough things. So this is the area is 49503. There's only 4. Let's see why she's getting that alert. The reason she's getting that alert, it looks like I had, because I had posted on my listing and she became a lead and that got sold. And then it looks like she looked at this place. And, she's opening emails. I think I kind of want to expand her search a little bit because she's not getting a ton. She's not getting a ton of search alerts, and I want her to hear from me more because she's actually opening my stuff up. So that's what I would do. I'd go edit. Now there's multifamily, and she's only looking at multifamily. So I'm going to add single family, and that's probably going to that's probably going to change everything. I'm also going to just, yeah, that's good enough. Okay, I'll leave it like that. And I'm going to update this alert. Only give me 5. Okay, I'm gonna change this to Grand Rapids is what I'm gonna do. There. Now she's gonna get a lot. Okay, so now there's 33. So I increased it so she could see more listings and hear and she'll hear from me more often because there's gonna be more listings that will come up. So I just expanded the search that she's on. Okay. So she's on a campaign, Google buyer campaign. So I can see how long is that campaign going to last. There's only 2 more touches left. But she's still going to be getting my search alerts. So that's good. That's fine. So I'm going to leave it like that. So that's an example of what I would do with somebody. Let's see if there's somebody else I can. Let's try. I'm going to do new lead prospect sellers. And see what's going on with them. So you will see, and I've talked to you guys about this if you've been on with me before. Sometimes when you get seller leads, you just get an address. This means the person requested their home valuation, but when they were asked to give their email address or phone number or to log in with Facebook or log in with Google, they decided not to. But that's still a good lead. Okay, because you have an address. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. What you can do is you can go to RPR, put in the address, and you can create a really cool reports. So this is like a report that's created, and now that link that goes to this is going to last for 30 days. If you're in Canada, I'm sorry that you can't do this, and I don't know if you have a tool like this in Canada, but in the States, if you're a member of the National Association of Realtors, you get RPR. I send them this email that says, hey, this is your property analysis report. And they also get something in the mail from me. Now, if I don't have their email address or phone number, then at least I know I can look up the owner's name, I have the address, and I can send them a property report, just a 1-page property report. And I'll show you what I do if I haven't already. I print out that property report. I put it in a cute little envelope that's handwritten, a little sticker, and I send this baby in the mail. And that's still a good lead. Okay. So that's all I have to say about that. All right. So somebody's chatting. You could also, and I would do this, a seller, besides mailing them something because you got their address, and I've got their email address, I've got their phone number, I should definitely be calling these people. But I'd also put them on a search alert. and just like I would my sphere. So well, let's see, 49445. So I'm going to put them in a search alert at the area of 49445. Is that what it was? 49445. Yeah. And I'm just going to do single family homes. And I'll say once a month. This is a seller lead, so I don't want to freak them out. So I'll just say monthly and then set that alert. So once a month, they'll get all the listings in their zip code. And I think that's good for sellers to get, potential sellers rather. So let me answer some of these questions before I move on to the next one. Somebody asked, how can I keep track of, who I did a pop by to or who I sent a card to? Well, I have, when I'm going into the Smart CRM, I want to search for a specific hashtag that I've applied to different leads. And the hashtag is calendar 2020, I think. Yep, calendar 2020. So here are all the leads that have calendar 2020 in it, meaning what I was doing is I decided I was going to send a calendar. So I created this calendar 2020 hashtag to all the people I had an address for. And then I exported that CSV file. So I had their name and address. And so I could print the labels for the calendar that I sent to all those people. So yeah, so if you did a pop by or sent a card, you could just give it a little hashtag to identify it in some way. Okay. Somebody also asked, using RPR with kvCore, how do you do it? So, I mean, I'll show you again what I do because I think it's really valuable. Let me reiterate, 18% of all the seller leads that you get today, they will list and sell their house within 6 months. So decide if it's going to be with you or not. So if you want it to be with you, you have to do some extra things because you might just get a lead like this. 68 North Wilson Street. I don't know where that is. I don't even know if that's in my area, but let's see. So let's say I go, and I'm sorry to my Canadian agent who's on here with us. Because, so I don't know, again, if you have something like this, you could do something similar. Maybe look into your tax records and find out who the person's name is and do something similar. Great. Okay. So this one, Plainwell, Michigan. All right, so they did sell in March of 2019, or they bought it in March of 2019. It's a modular home. It might be mobile home, but we're not for sure. Modular and mobile is two different things. Okay, fine. So we'll see. So that's the address, and this is the person's name, Christopher Steinway. So I'm going to grab that, and I'll put this person's name in here. And then that's not a real email address, so I'm going to get rid of that. And I can't put them on a campaign because I don't have an email address or anything else. But what I can do is I can create a flyer. And so, so I'm going to show you how I do this. So I go to create a report. And then I go here to property flyer. And then I just let one of the pictures show, it's fine. And then I put in something like your home value estimate. And then I write a little message, hi, Christopher. And then I write a little message like, got your home value analysis request on my website recently. I want to make sure you had the most accurate estimate. And so here is an update. I'm curious if you have any questions, want to talk to me, blah, 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 blah. So I write a message here. All right. And then I want the property value to display it. I want the estimated value. Okay. And then I run that report. I'm just going to show you another example. while that's running. So, because I actually have an assistant now that does this for me because I don't have time anymore, but she does it for me. She's got all the directions. She knows what to do. So here's what it's going to look like. So, you know, it has estimated value. She's got the headline there. She's got my message that I send. And then basically once she puts that in the Google Drive folder for me, and then I print it out and then I mail it. Okay, so I got a system. So anyway, so that's what I do. And that is still a good lead. And then what I would do is, if I did that, I would add a hashtag, and I have a hashtag like RPR NOV 2020, you know, RPR OCT 2020. So like as each month, you know, I have the hashtag of what I did, so that I can know that, okay, I sent this property report this month. And so just for my own tracking to see who I need to follow up with. So let's say I wanted to find that project, RPR October 2020. So we did that project for 103 leads. So again, those I had an email address for. They also got an email with a property report. But if I didn't, and whether I had their email address or not, they also got the property flyer in the mail. So those are the two things I do in regards to reaching seller or listing leads using RPR and kvCore together. I've talked about adding your sphere and stuff. I've talked about sending mass emails. I've talked about working with your contacts in the CRM and making sure they're getting nurtured with these different things that you can do. And now let's talk about blogging. If you go to my YouTube channel, and I'm going to go to it right now. So I'm going to here on my YouTube channel, click on the search. I'm going to type in blog. And you'll see that there's all this stuff on blogging. So even if I go to playlists, I think I have a blog. Yeah, email and blogs with kvCore. View the full playlist. First one is, I guess, the most recent, and I really talk about like how to write a blog and how to find content for a blog, and how to blog in kvCore. And the rest of it is sort of random and yet very related. So let me just tell you why you want to blog with kvCore first. All right. And this is not a whole blog class because I just gave you a link to classes about blogging because I've already done the classes. But I'm just gonna give you the quick overview and kind of talk you into why you need to be blogging on kvCore specifically. So when you're blogging with a kvCore, it's going to show up, and it's also going to, as you put more content, especially more original content on your blog, just the more likely people are going to see your stuff. Like I put this blog, now it's 196 views is not a ton, but I mean, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with that. I posted this flyer that I created, and I think I did it in a class like this with you guys and showed you how to do it here. And so anyway, I put this little flyer. I talked about, you know, how to buy this duplex for a low price, and that's original content. You know, I talk about Heritage Hill, which is a neighborhood in Grand Rapids. So if people type in, you know, homes for sale and Heritage Hill, my blog post, my website is more likely to come up. Anyway, so if I click on here, all my posts, here I can see all of my past posts. So I've got, you know, a few original, my own original. So this is like this is a video that I put on YouTube of myself and a lender that I work with sometimes. And she's talking about renovation loans and like how to buy a home that needs to be renovated and use for renovation loans. So I just have a little short little thing and a link to all the reduced properties in West Michigan that might be ideal for a renovation loan. Okay. So anyway, you can do a variety of things here, but again, I do encourage you to come up with your own content. And as you're writing the content, use keyword phrases that your clientele or the types of clients you want to serve would be likely to type into Google to search for something. So I did this one, and some of you guys might have seen this one. I did this. What's the market like in Newaygo County? So I just put this picture here. It's a screenshot from Google, and this is all of Newaygo County. And then I just took basically some bullet points off RPR property reports or market reports to create some content here. And then they can click to get the full neighborhood report for Newaygo County there. So that's an example. How Muskegon buyers get $5,000 in free money. So I just have a little photo here. I wrote some content about how the city of Muskegon will give you $5,000 in down payment assistance that you don't have to pay back, and how to qualify for that, and viewing homes in Muskegon under a certain amount, so it's lead generating links. 326 people viewed that blog, so find some content, and you got to come up with like the headlines that people will grab people, like how Muskegon buyers get $5,000 in free money. Engaging headlines that people will click on because they want to see what that is. So anytime like an inspector says something interesting, anytime an appraiser says something interesting, anytime a lender says something interesting, you just think, I should write a blog post about that. I'll just need a picture, some content, a link to squeeze pages on my website, and call it good. All right. So anyway, the point is, though, the link I shared with you of my playlist here about blogging, and I give you lots of ideas. Reasons why you should blog, you guys, besides people being able to find you on the interwebs if they're searching for something. The other reason is because when people get those market reports every month, or they get their home valuations or search alerts sent to them, at the bottom of the email, it shows what your most recent blog post was. So if you haven't ever blogged, you're missing an opportunity to put content there that might bring that email recipient to click to go back to your website. Or if you haven't blogged in a long time, it's just old content. Like, okay, well, that person, they did that in like April of 2019. I'm not going to click on that. It's just too old. All right. Well, here's an example anyway. This is me, my own test lead, getting an email for new properties. And you can see the latest from our blog. It's going to show what is the latest from our blog that was sent. So this was sent a billion years ago. But I just want to show you it shows up. And so it'll show one or two posts. And if you don't have anything there, or it's really old, you're missing an opportunity to bring people back to your website. So anyway, those are the two biggest reasons you want to blog. Okay. All right. Those blogging classes that I put in the link of all my different blog classes, I talk a variety of where you can get content for free to create blogs with. So here under Web IDX, you'll see where it says blog posts. You can go to view posts. You can click on add post to create a new post. The other thing you got to know is where it says the title must be unique. If somebody else in your same kvCore office, meaning another EXP agent who uses kvCore in your region that's associated with your MLS, if they used a blog post title, if it's already been used in your area, it's not going to let you do it. You have to rename it something unique. Areas I cover, because I love these area pages. I am going to go to White Cloud, which is where I live right now. And I love these pages. It's also going to show the most popular listing as well the most expensive. And a lot of times, not all the times, but sometimes the most popular and the most expensive are hand in hand. And then it'll show like the least expensive. But I just love these pages. So let's say I wanted to write a blog post about something about White Cloud. Okay. I actually do want to do this. So what I'll do right now, just for your information, I'll show you how I'm going to get a blog post ready, and I'm going to save it as a draft to do more to later. So I'm going to just say, because I'm thinking about this idea of top 5 favorite places in White Cloud. So I'm going to do like just top 5 places to visit in White Cloud, because it's the stinkiest little town, you guys. I mean, nobody lives in this town, and it's like there's one like blinking light basically in the town. And I remember when I first moved there back in March, I was like, this town's missing like a drive-through coffee place. But it turns out the pizza place also has coffee, and they open up at 5:30 in the morning. Didn't know that till recently. So that's going to be one of the places. Also, because I live in the country now, there's like this huge like animal feed type place where it's like a, you know, they have like, it's like they have produce, and they just have everything in the store. Like you name it, they've got it kind of place. It's really fun to go to. And so anyway, I'm going to come up with these top 5 places in White Cloud, and I'm going to list them here. I'm going to name all the places. I'm going to have some pictures. I might even have a little video. And so I'm going to content, you know, again, pictures, video, I'm going to put it all in here. Learn more about White Cloud's housing market, or something like that. I'll come up maybe with something better, but I'm going to link that here. So I'm putting that SEO page there. That'll help me maybe get some leads. Maybe I'll come up with some other like lead generating links here too. But that's what I'm going to come up with. But right now I'm just going to save this baby as a draft. Right, so the 5th thing is generating new leads. So after you add everybody, after you're sending mass emails, after you're, you know, working with your leads and your contacts and making sure you're nurturing them, you know, every time you're blogging to hopefully attract new people, then generating new leads from Facebook and Google. That's the 5th thing you want to make sure you're doing in kvCore. Probably the number 1 question I constantly get from agents is, you know, should I do the Making It Rain program? Should I do Property Boost? You know, that's what everybody wants to know. And so I say you can, but I don't know if you need to. Example of the woman I talked to you about earlier, I helped her, you know, she'd got paid for leads with Property Boost. She had like 80 some leads over the past few months. I mean, these leads were, you know, over 8 months old, some of them, and she just hasn't done anything with them. So I don't know. I mean, do you really need the new leads? Are you going to do anything with them? So especially if you're not going to pay for them and not do anything with them, then no. My answer is no. And so it depends on how you're going to nurture these leads, because you have to do some work to convert them. But let's talk about generating your own leads for a very little cost, and converting them. Okay. My 2 favorite ways to generate leads are by promoting a single property on Facebook, and by asking for seller leads on Google. Those are my 2 favorites. I have a listing that I still haven't sold that's a land, and it's so, I need to sell this thing. So let's do that one. So I don't know what your state rules are, but figure out, you know, are you allowed to, in your state, promote other agents that are associated with your same brokerage? So other EXP agents, can you promote their listings without having to ask permission? Because I think that's stupid if you have to ask for permission. I personally think that's dumb, because just don't pretend it's your own listing. Just don't like say, I just listed this, but whatever, just follow your state rules. So in my state, I am allowed in Michigan to promote any other agency's listing I want to. It doesn't have to be EXP. I don't have to ask for explicit permission. I just have to say who the listing was what brokerage listed it. So listing provided by Keller Williams North, listing provided by Midwest Properties Grand Rapids, whatever it is. Okay. So, but I'm going to promote my own listing, so I'm good there. So I'm going to go here to filter and click on my listings. I only have this one left because everything else is pending, which is fine. But that's what I'm going to concentrate on for the rest of this winter is listings. but I got to sell this little guy. All right. So here it is. I'm going to take this MLS ID and I'm going to create a squeeze page. We're going to be promoting a single property. We're going to promote a listing to generate leads with it. All right. So I am going to grab that MLS ID and I am going to go to lead engine. And then I'm going to go to IDX squeeze page and choose my domain, which is I only have one, but I have to wait for it to load because it's not wanting to go as fast as I want to go. And then click start building. And now I want to do a single property squeeze page. I'm going to be posting this on Facebook. So I'm going to use FB for my source. I've only ever used FB, so I don't type out Facebook because I don't want to go into my business analytics here and look for sources and have one source called Facebook and one source called FB. So just decide on what you're going to name your source and always name it that one thing. I'm going to paste the listing ID here. Now, you don't have to put a hashtag, but there are 2 reasons that I might want to use a hashtag. Who wants to tell me what those 2 reasons are? Okay, good. So Sandra is saying to track. So yeah, so one reason you could put a hashtag is so you could search that hashtag to identify that lead. Okay, so that's one reason.
You can also attach a campaign.
And you can also trigger a campaign with a hashtag. Very good. So those are the 2 reasons. Number 1, to identify the lead, categorize the lead in some way, and also to trigger a campaign. So what I'm going to do here for hashtag is I am going to put, I like to put usually the listing. So I'm going to say parcel A, North County Line Road. This is just my own little hashtag that I came up with to, oops, it did something weird. I didn't want it to do parcel A. Okay. No, that's right. Okay. So parcel A, North County Line Road. Got it. Okay. That's my hashtag I just now created. And that's how this, because it's not a 123 Main Street. There's no address. So parcel A, North County Line Road. So this could say 123 Main Street. It just depends. So come up with something to identify this lead or what they're interested in. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hashtag called Facebook Buyer. This is going to trigger my Facebook Buyer campaign. So what it's going to do is it's going to tell the default buyer campaign not to run, and that instead to let this Facebook Buyer campaign run. And the only thing that's different about this campaign is it directly says to the lead, hey, you clicked on a property on Facebook, and ta-da. So that resources page I shared has all my campaigns and my copy and my instructions on how you can build this campaign yourself, FYI. Okay. And then finally, property views allowed before registration. You definitely want to put it on immediate. So I see this question on kvCore discussion group and workplace all the time. And this is, I posted this squeeze page. I'm not getting any leads, but like it has, you know, Facebook shows I've had 240 clicks or something and nobody's registering. Well, that's because you're not asking them to register. So when it's on the default of 2, that means that person can look at that property and they can look at all the pictures, they can look at the property, and they're never going to be asked to register unless they leave the website and come back to look at it again. They're looking at it a second time, they'll be asked to register. Or if they're still on the website and they decide to look at another property somehow while they're on that visit, then they'll be asked to register. But just when you're promoting that one property, they can see it, they go away, and they're never going to register. So put it on immediate, okay? And then generate the link. So these 2 links, you have to save just the short link. You can just save the short link, but you got to save it somewhere because once you create the squeeze page, it's not saved for you anywhere, okay? So if you want to use that squeeze page, you're going to have to save it. Now, the long link and the short link are the exact same thing, but let me show you if I put in this URL window here, the short link, you will notice it goes to that page, but it also converts to the long link by itself. And it's the same exact long link. And the long link basically tells the story of the squeeze page, what MLS ID that you're using, what source you're assigning, what hashtags you added, and how many views somebody can have before they're asked to register. Okay, so there you go. So that's that. Now I got to post it. So nothing's going to happen until I put this link out on the interwebs. And I want to post it out there, and I want to drive people to my website, new leads. So what I'm going to do, go to my Facebook page. I'm going to go to my business page. And I'm going to let it load. And then from here, I'm going to go to publishing tools. So I'm in my Facebook business page. And instead of just posting, I'm going to go to publishing tools. Okay. And we're letting it load so patiently. There we go. So patiently. All right. And then I'm going to click on create post. And then somebody's asked me, can you post to Instagram? Yes, you can post to Instagram. The problem with Instagram is that Instagram doesn't do links. So the best thing to do with Instagram is if you're gonna do like call capture codes, you know, if people are willing to copy and paste a link that's in your description, that could work, but I don't think it's gonna work. So to answer your question, yes and no. But here where I'm going to place this, I'm only going to be posting this on Facebook because it is a link and I want to drive people to my website from that link. So I'm only going to have this advertised on Facebook, not on Instagram. I'm going to paste that link in the text area here because I just want to make sure that it's going to preview. So I'm just waiting. And there it is. Lovely. And then it says link preview, and that's great. That means I can now take away this text here, and now I can say something wonderful about it. So let me just, I'm actually going to, because this is my own listing and I can do what I want, I'm going to take this text to get me started here. And I'm hunting land for sale. Call me, contact me for details, something like that. And then I am going to put in a few emojis. Let's see. We will do animals. Let's see. Let's pick some animals. Let's find some deer. There's a deer. And then it's good enough. All right. I could put lots of emojis. Maybe I'll just do lots of deer. There's so many deer. All right. There. Lovely. Okay. And then I don't want to get messages. I just want them to click on this link. So I'm not going to activate this get messages. And I'm not going to worry about the location right now. And I'm just going to publish it. Okay, so that's step one. Now, if you don't have a business.facebook.com account set up, you'll want to have done that by now. And I'll just show you business.facebook.com. This is like a separate ad account for Facebook. So you create your account, business.facebook.com account. and you can attach whatever business pages that you have that you'll want to possibly advertise with to that account. You would also be able to create what's called a Facebook tracking pixel, essentially, that you could put on kvCore. But you don't have to do that to do what I'm about to do. So I'm not going to spend any time on that right now. So anyway, I just want to make sure you knew you had to have that account ready. But now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go into Property Boost inside kvCore and pay kvCore to boost this for me. I'm going to do it myself. All right. So I'm going to click on the post here from Publishing Tools, and it's going to show me what it looks like here. And it's going to show me the performance. Obviously, nothing's happening yet because I just posted it. But from here, I'm going to boost the post. Now, it's got an objective, and it'll say automatic, let Facebook select the most relevant objective based on your settings. I'm going to, that would be fine, but I want people to come to my website. So I want more people to click on that link is what I want. So that's what I'm going to select. Then it's got the option to have the button say what you want. I don't want it to send a message. I want them to click on the link. I want them to click on learn more. And I want them to go to my website. I do not want Facebook messages. That's just me. Okay. If I had like one of those Facebook bots, maybe I just want them to come into kvCore and I want to get the lead. That's all I want. Okay. Special ad category, you've got to choose housing because you sell real estate. And then I've got people in my audience, so I can edit this. So right now, Muskegon County, Ottawa County is what's listed, but instead what I'm gonna do is, this is in Montcalm County, so I am gonna choose a different county. Okay. And so it's gonna be the whole county. The whole county is gonna see that. And then I am going to keep these home improvement, house hunting, and Zillow on there. I'm trying to find interests, but I don't see hunter or hunting. So I'm going to leave that. I'm just going to leave the ones these always work for me: home improvement, house hunting, and Zillow. Because if anybody is doing anything online that represents any of these things, Zillow, house hunting, or home improvement, they'll be the ones who are most likely to see my advertisement. So the potential size is only 18,000, which is actually really small. I'm fine with that. Let's see what happens. I'm going to save that. And then you can choose a budget. So I am going to put this on for 5 days. And I am going to increase this. Let's see, it's my own listing. I'll just start with $15. So I'm just going to spend, I'll do 20. Okay, I'm going to spend a total of $20 only for the next 5 days. Okay. And it's telling me it's going to spend $4 a day. I'm going to activate my pixel, and everything's ready to go. And I'm going to boost. So basically, I'm going to be getting likely a lot more leads for a lot less money by boosting this myself versus paying kvCore to do a property boost for me. Just a little tip for you, okay? All right. So you should be doing that, what I did, once a week, once every other week. You don't have to spend 20, maybe it could be $5, and just try different things. If it's your own listing, invest a little more money. Okay. And so that's what I recommend. I say this every time, but I'm going to guess there's more than 50% of the people that are on here that still haven't set up their Google My Business page. And so if that's you, that's your homework this week, is to create your Google My Business page. It's free. You're going to have to get your address verified, but you do not have to have your home address public on the web. And you can post here for free and have people review you here, but you can also create ads real easy from here. So I have basically get your instant home value ad on Google. And it does really well for me. So I have this free instant home value campaign going on. And I have a max budget of like $100 a month that I pause this sometimes if I don't feel like dealing with it. I don't have my insights turned on, but it does really well for me. And it basically anybody in these areas in Michigan will be likely to see the ad, and people can click on it and get their instant home value, and it does really well for me. So anyway, so you can set one of those up, and those are my two favorite ways to spend not a lot of money, but a little money and get leads. Okay. Okay. So there, we did it. I shared with you the top 5 things you should be doing with your kvCore, and we did all these 5. We generate new leads for Facebook and Google. We blog. We work with our contacts and nurture our contacts. We send periodic mass emails, and we make sure everybody we know is added to that CRM. Okay? All right, we did it.